Hello and welcome to what may be a shocking video for some, as I've been labeled the book murderer, but there are some books that I will never annotate. And normally I show the titles in my thumbnail so people know whether they're interested in clicking or not. But part of the reason I've got the books in a different direction this time is it's part of the reason that I won't be annotating them. But let's start off with the first and the smallest book. This was a recent purchase. Yes, I still have the sticker on it from the discount table at Indigo, and this is Dracula. Now, this is the copy that I will be annotating. I've read Dracula numerous times. I've talked about it on my channel. The reason I'm okay with annotating this copy is I have this copy from when I was a teenager, and I'm now 61. So this has a lot of sentimental and special meaning for me. Yes, I have dog-eared the pages. Yes, the spine is not immaculate, but I won't write in it. As funny as that may seem, but I do want to go through Dracula because I'm putting together some information on Vlad Tepes and wanting to do a video on the real Count. And of course, in Dracula, Bram Stoker does give us some historical accurate information about the time period as well as events in the past which impacted Count Dracula and of course the real Vlad Tepes. That is book number 1 that, other than the dog ears, will stay pretty much as it is. The next book, and yes, shiny, shiny, gold and green. This is Gothic Fantasy, Lovecraft Mythos, New and Classic Collection. There's just something about this copy. It just has plain edges, but as I go through and read this, I love the inside design as well. There are authors I'm excited to read, a number of new authors I've never heard of. We have a foreword by Ramsey Campbell. Most of these authors I've never heard of. Cody Goodfellow, Robert E. Howard, of course, Lovecraft, and there are 7 of Lovecraft stories in here. And I just noticed the history of the Necronomicon. I'm surprised it's a very short story. Dagon, which I have read before. And again, the other authors I have not heard of. But I do want to keep this copy the way it is. I'll probably have sticky tabs either at the top where I normally put them, maybe on the side to make notes, but I won't be writing in this book. The next one, which I picked up at the same time, and I picked up both of these at Indigo several months ago. This is Gothic Horror Stories, Frightful Tales of the Supernatural. And the old castle, the sprayed edges are just gorgeous on this. We have our bats. So it's just a special copy. Now, in this collection, I do know quite a few of the authors. There's The Dream by Mary Shelley, which I've never read. We've got Mary Elizabeth Braden with Eveline's Visitant. She's new. Edgar Allan Poe, of course, I know him. The Fall of the House of Usher, which I don't believe I've ever read. I've heard of it, I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but I don't believe I've read that. We also have a story by Robert Louis Stevenson, who I've read before. There's a story by Nathaniel Hawthorne, Ethan Brand. I've never read Hawthorne either. I actually need to check them out. I guess a short story is a good way to start. There's one I had started decades ago. I know there's something about Seven Gables, but for whatever reason, I never finished reading it. We've got The Old Nurse's Story by Elizabeth Gaskell, which I read for the first time last year as part of Vin's Revisiting Ghosts of Christmas Past event in December, where I was a co-host of an event for the first time. So thank you so much for that, Vin. And that event will be returning this year. So looking forward to that. There's also a story by Sheridan Le Fanu, the author of Carmilla, which I just read the first time in a few years. I've not read this short story before. Strange Event in the Life of Skalkin the Painter. And the final story in this collection is The Red Room by H.G. Wells. I've not read that short story before. Ven, my friend over at Ven's Corner, just did a reading of that story. So I may actually listen to his video as I read this story. That'll be a new experience. I don't typically have audio going as I'm reading the book, so that might be a fun thing to do. And if you haven't checked out Ven's channel yet, there'll be a link to his video down below. The next book, which may come as a surprise, this is the Da Vinci Code. I've talked about that and the spiral. I have my basket over here with all the other books. This is an illustrated copy of the code, so I won't be writing in this one, but I do have my original copy that I read a number of years ago of the Da Vinci Code, and I will definitely be annotating in that one. It may even become the book that I end up crafting, meaning pulling pages out and turning it into a junk journal for my notes related to the spiral. I'll have to wait and see. This next book is also a new purchase, The Egyptian Book of the Dead. I do have a copy of the Book of the Dead translated by Budge. This one is different. The edges are all sprayed and there are actual plates in here and they're in colors. So instead of plain black and white like my other copy, this is just incredible. Again, this will definitely have tabs in it, but no writing or highlighting. The final book that I definitely know will not be annotated in, Tales of Mystery and Imagination, Edgar Allan Poe. And again, gorgeous sprayed edges. These are some of my first sprayed edges books. I've never had them before. Just beautiful. I make sure to not store them anywhere near the sun because that would fade them, sadly. This is from The Fall of the House of Usher, A Descent into the Maelstrom, some passages in the life of a lion. So again, just beautiful work, a very special edition. I do have two other Edgar Allan Poe collections, and again, one will be highly annotated and one may end up becoming a craft journal project where I keep information on my horror reading. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you annotate books? Are you a book murderer like me and you find that reading is a very interactive experience that requires a highlighter, lovely colored markers or a pencil, sticky notes, all that kind of stuff? I find that annotating definitely helps me remember and recall the information so much better after I've completed reading something. Not the first time, usually the second or third time it stands out, but that interaction for me makes a difference. As I've said, these are very special copies. In the case of Dracula, Poe, and the Da Vinci Code, I have other copies that I can annotate and make notes in. So these copies are for the enjoyment of being able to appreciate the artwork, the craft that went into putting them together beyond the words. And of course, although my Dracula isn't a fancy copy, it is priceless because of the time that it has been with me and the memories that I have of reading this book. Also, let me know in the comments down below. Do you have books that are very special that you've had for a long time and you just know you're never going to annotate, or they're beautiful works of art as the copies I've shown? As always, thank you so much for the gift of your time. Be safe, be well, big hugs.